Okay. Okay, so I was talking about today. First class is very traditional hatha class. Lots of warrior postures, just get the body warm and fluid and moving, and then we slow it right down. You guys are really familiar though. This has kind of been our crew for these Sunday classes. And we've talked about this before, but this idea of why we do different postures in yoga, whether it's a headstand or it's a twist or it's something that's like way out there, is not to say that we can do a fancy posture in yoga, right? And you've heard me talk about this before, but it is literally just to show the mind a different perspective, right? So when we kind of get out of our own way, out of our own routine, out of that same pattern, and we throw something different in there, it kind of like wakes us up out of that hypnosis of being like stuck along this one path, right? And Guru Jagat used to talk about this a lot about like all the different perspectives we have or that are accessible to us in the mind, but how we get stuck in just one perspective or two and really get stuck in that way and stuck in that rut. And so she talks about the importance of like really putting our body in like different positions and movements and showing us that there is a different way. There's a different way forward. And then this is same with meditation, and this is why we meditate, is to get a hold of this hypnosis that we are under and then show it all the different ways that we have, all the different things we have access to. And you can even think about this in the perspective of like the quantum world, this quantum theory and what is out there, all the like different possibilities. And sometimes we get so narrow-minded, so stuck in our ways, so stuck in our patterns that we see this. We get really, and this is when you feel stuck, when you feel frustrated, when you feel kind of like defeated, this is then what we need to work on. We need to show ourselves again. Just take the blinders off, shake everything up a little bit, and show ourselves like all the possibilities that are out there. So when I throw a posture in there that kind of like throws you off, or you're like, whew, where did this come from? Or this is really challenging. This is why we do that. We like to kind of like sprinkle them in there a little bit. Okay. But it's always good. It's good to know why we're doing it, right? So that when it comes up, we're not just like, oh my God, she's crazy. Right? She's throwing us for a loop here. Because there's nothing worse than feeling stuck. This is a constant theme for people I hear a lot of my students. And if you're feeling stuck, meditate every single day for 1 month and then talk to me after. But we can't complain that we're feeling stuck and that our life is stagnant if we're not going to do a little bit of mind work. We're not going to do a little bit of mind training. Okay? And as much as I'm speaking to you, teacher always speaks to students to speak back to themselves. So I'm on this journey with you guys as well. And when I find my meditation falls off a little bit, kind of gets like tired and a little bit frustrated and feel stuck in my own way, well, I'm not practicing as much. Okay. So if you are feeling this way, if this is resonating with you at all, let's try to get back on our mat to meditate, to practice. 5 minutes. If you struggle to meditate, sit for 5 minutes every single day for 30 days. Do a little bit of breath work, maybe. If that's too much, go back to the 5-minute meditation, like our 5-minute classes. And then message me at the end of the month. And tell me that you don't feel something different. But it takes dedication. I was just reading some book and it was saying like, you have to be willing to do what 90% of the people are not willing to do to create something beautiful, something amazing in this world, or to create a beautiful life. Right? So let's put ourselves in that category and start to shift if you're feeling a little bit stuck. All right? Good. We're going to start standing. We're going to start right with our sun salutations. Get the body moving. So come to stand. Find your big toes. Close your eyes here for a few breaths as you get really conscious about the intention you want to pull into your practice today. Be very mindful of what you're calling in. Right? So it's easy to just throw an intention out there without thinking about it, like more joy, which is beautiful in itself, but is it actually calling to your soul today? Okay. Eyes closed. Few deep breaths. You can draw hands in front of heart center, stand tall. Allow your breath to shift the body. You'll start standing in different ways. You pull the intention in. You'll start holding yourself differently. And on a cellular level, you'll even start to shift just with a few breaths. Very good. Gently open your eyes. Release your arms by your side. With your inhale, let's sweep our arms up. Gaze comes up. And exhale, fold forward. Hands onto your shins or down to the mat. Inhale, gaze up. Plant your hands. Jumper step back into high plank. Let's lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hips come high. Spread fingers, spread toes. You can pedal your feet here if you need a little movement, or you can just work to ground those heels towards the mat. Now let's bring our gaze forward. Walk your feet to your hands. Land hands onto your shins. Inhale, gaze up, long spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And Samastitihi. Good. Again, inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, gaze up. Plant your hands. Jumper step back into high plank. Lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Create that consistent rhythmic breath. And then take up more space on your mat by spreading your toes, spread your fingers. You want to feel the skin on the top of the hands and the feet spreading. Let's bring our gaze forward. Walk your feet to your hands. Hands onto the shins. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And Samastitihi. Good. Bend your knees. Sit into chair posture. Sweep your arms up. And exhale, fold forward over your straight legs. Inhale, gaze up. Plant your hands. Jumper step back into high plank. Let's lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Gaze forward. Step your right foot in between your hands. We're coming into high lunge. When you're steady into the feet, sweep your arms up. Hands come down to the mat. Make your way back into downward facing dog. Bring your gaze forward. Step your left foot forward. Rise up. Sink in. Feel the posture. Hands come down to the mat. Step back into high plank. Let's lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's bring our gaze forward. Walk your feet to your hands. Hands onto the shins. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Sit low into chair. Sweep your arms up. One big breath here. And then straighten your legs, arms by your side, into Samastiti. Beautiful. Last and final one. Bend your knees. Sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, gaze up. Plant your hands. Jump or step back into high plank. Let's lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale. Exhale. Gaze forward. Step right foot in between your hands. Let's rise up. High lunge. As soon as you're up here with the fingertips, take one big breath in. And exhale, hands come down. Make your way into downward facing dog. Let's switch sides. Inhale, step your left foot forward. Rise up. One big breath in. And with your exhale, hands come down and flow through your vinyasa. And we'll meet into downward facing dog. Find your breath. Spread fingers, spread toes. And now bring your gaze forward. Walk your feet to your hands. Hands onto the shins. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Chair posture. Straighten the legs. Hands come through heart center into Samastiti. Beautiful. Take a step back with your right foot. Turn your toes out. We're facing the long edge of our mat. Take your hands back behind you, interlacing fingers or grabbing onto opposite elbow. Sweep your chest up towards the sky. And then exhale, fold forward, allowing the crown of the head to reach down towards the mat, allowing this slow unwind of the top of the back, your shoulders, and your neck. Find your feet. Bring a little more weight into the toes so you can expand through the sit bones. Good. Let's release the hands down to the mat. Walk both hands over to your right ankle. Let's catch on and fold forward over this right leg. Good. Let's walk our hands over to the left. Same thing here. Catch onto your left ankle and fold. Beautiful. Back through center. Hands onto the mat. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, hands onto your hips. Pause here. And inhale to rise. Releasing the arms by the side, come to stand forward into Samastiti. Beautiful. Taking a vinyasa, inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, gaze up. Plant your hands, jump or step back into high plank. Let's lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Gaze forward, walk your feet to your hands. Inhale, gaze up, long spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise up. And Samasthiti. Okay. Take a big step back with your right foot. We're coming to Trikonasana, so right toes towards the back of your mat, left ankle to the side. Legs are straight. Inhale your arms up. And then start to shift your weight over this right leg. Right hand onto your shin, top of your foot, or outside edge of your foot. So find your depth. Find the distance between your legs so that you can really root down and extend up, right? So one of my favorite postures to find those long lines, especially through the right side of the body and then the left side of the body, from pinky toe to your pinky finger and from thumb to your big toe. Good. Let's come into the twisted version of this. So top hand comes down. You're going to step your back foot in slightly so that your hips and toes are squared to the back of the mat. Left hand stays where it is, right hand onto the sacrum or up towards the sky. Now, if you're reaching up towards the sky, make sure you're not compensating with this right hip. Keep pulling the right hip back, left hip forward, keeping the pelvis balanced. Good. Top arm comes down. Now, you're going to take your hands, you're going to walk them to the center of the mat in between your feet, and then you're going to flip your wrists towards the back of the mat there. So fingertips are pointing back towards your left toes. And then you're going to start to fold forward over this right leg. Now, if this is too intense, you're just bringing a bend into this right leg to give you a little more space. Again, walk your hands back forward. Find your feet. Inhale, let's rise all the way up. Windmill, open your arms. So left toes now towards the top of your mat. Right angled in. Legs are straight as you start to tip forward over this left leg. Left hand onto your shin, top of your foot, or outside edge of your foot. Beautiful. Now again, find those long lines in this posture. Connect fingertips to fingertips. And always come back to your breath. Okay, let's come into the twisted version of this. Right hand comes down. You're going to step your back foot in slightly, square your hips, square your toes. Now take left hand onto your sacrum or up towards the sky. And again, remember that left leg can be bent if you need more space. Good. Good. Top arm comes down. You're going to bring your hands to the center of the mat, flip your wrists, and fold forward over this left leg. It helps if you need more depth, you're bending your elbows backwards to help pull you forward over this leg. Good. Let's release our hands back forward. Find your feet. Inhale, rise up. Windmill, open your arms and come to stand forward. into Samastitihi. Good. Vinyasa. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, gaze up. Plant your hands, jump or step back. Flow through your vinyasa, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now you can take 5 breaths here, or if you need a break, you drop into child's posture for 5 breaths. Good. Now bring your gaze forward. You're going to step your right foot in between your hands. Drop your back knee. You can pat it up if you need to. Good. Take your right hand onto your right knee. Left hand is going to come onto your lower back. Good. Now, we really want to create that space here in between your hips and your torso. So I want you to find that lift, sink back in, and then start to lean back. And your left hand is there to remind you to create space in the low back. So there should not be any crunching. We're lifting, lifting, lifting. And then the upper back is starting to come up and backwards. That's it. Now come back up forward with the torso. You're more than welcome to stay here. Or if you're adding on, you're going to bend this back knee. Maybe catch on and then work to square your shoulders. So again, lots of options. Be mindful of where you are. There should be intensity, but no pain. Good. Sink a little deeper. We're here for 3, for 2, and 1. Let's gently release. Hands come forward, and we work to straighten this front leg just for half splits today. So right toes up towards the sky. Again, if this is too intense, you're just up higher, right? Working the back of that leg. If you need more intensity, you're just walking your hands further forward. And then watch that you're not collapsing to this left side. See if you can pull the weight back into the center by grounding into that right heel, pulling that right hip a little bit wider, and take 2 more breaths. Good. To release, walk your hands back, bend this front knee, lift your back knee, and step back, downward facing dog. Good. Let's switch sides. Bring your gaze forward, step left foot in between your hands, drop your back knee. Go ahead, take left hand onto your left knee, right hand onto that low back, and before you come back, find your lift, sink back in, and then come up and back. Good. Bring your gaze back forward. If you did so on the other side, you're going to catch on to this right foot with your right hand or stay in the center. Just make sure you find some intensity, some depth. Good. How is your breath? How is your intention sitting in the body, in the mind? Good. Now let's release. Hands come down. Tuck your back toes and then shift into your half splits, whatever that looks like for you. And again, probably there's going to be a ton of weight into this right side. See if you can shift it back into the center, more weight into that left heel as you fold inwards. Good. Walk your hands slightly back. Bend into this front knee. Lift your back knee, stepping back into side plank. Run through vinyasa, lowering chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Let's bring your gaze forward. We're going to jump all the way through onto our seat, extending your legs out in front of you for a forward seated fold. So just working your way forward. Again, find something to latch onto. It can be your shins, your ankles, your feet, and bow inwards. Sometimes we can get stuck in the spine here. So even kind of going back from side to side until you find that release and can find that beautiful middle point. We can let the spine just surrender. Let the neck be heavy. Come inwards. Feel the mat underneath you. Feel the sensation of your hands resting onto your body. The last few breaths come a little bit deeper. Good. And then slowly release, walking yourself back up. Now you are going to take the right ankle, you're going to cross it on top of the left. Okay. And then you're going to start to come forward, but you're going to start to walk more towards the right edge of your mat. So coming into a bit of a twist here. Okay. And you want to find some leverage so you can start to pull yourself back. And if you want an even deeper twist, the right hand comes back behind you and can bring your gaze over your right shoulder. If that doesn't feel good or work, just keep forward as you come here. This is a really good one for preventing sciatic or working through sciatic, if anyone is suffering from that. Better to prevent it before it turns into an issue, right? So these tiny little stretches are quite impactful. Good. Walk yourself back up. Let's unwind, switching sides. Cross left ankle over right. Bring both hands to the outer edge of that left leg and start to walk yourself forward. And again, you can take that left arm back behind you as you start to pull yourself forward, or both hands forward. Beautiful. Let's slowly unwind. We're going to do a little bit of hip work right now. So you can stay where you are facing the front of your mat. I'm just going to turn so you can see me. Take the left shin forward. We've done this lots. And you're going to take your right ankle onto the left knee. Okay. Now, this is what some of us are going to look like. This right knee might be really high. Two options. You can just support it with your hands here, kind of wrap your arms around, or place a pillow under here for support. If you're a little more open, you're working to eventually connect right knee to left ankle. Okay. If you can sit up nice and tall here, we're also going to work and add in the arms. Right arm forward, left arm wraps underneath. Good. Interlace. Now, start to slide your shoulder blades down your back and then start to pull your hands away from your face. Okay. Beautiful. Now, one more addition. You don't have to keep adding on. You stay where you want. We're going to take our right ear to our right shoulder. Now, slightly bring your gaze up towards the sky and hold here. Good. Release your neck first. Bring your gaze forward. Slowly unwind your arms. Okay, and then we're going to just hold here for a few more breaths. If this is not hitting you deep enough, you're going to start to fold forward. Good. And let's slowly rise back up. You can unwind if you need to give your legs a little shake before the other side. Go ahead and give them a little shake. And then when you're ready, land your right shin first, left on top. And again, take the same thing or the same variation here as you do on the other side. So maybe we're just supporting this left leg. Okay. If you can sit up nice and tall, take your left arm in front of you. Right arm wraps underneath. Good. Now, slowly slide shoulder blades down your back. Start to pull your hands away from you. Okay. You can either stop here or take your left ear to your left shoulder and then slightly bring your gaze up towards the sky and hold. Good. Let's release the neck, release the arms, and you can either stay here or for another few breaths, we're going to fold forward. Good. And slowly unwind. You can straighten your legs out in front of you if you need to shake them out. And then eventually come to lay flat onto your back. Good. Draw knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around. Find space in the hips by starting to pull your glutes, tailbone towards the mat, while you're continuously pulling your knees towards your chest. Push the back into the mat, push the back of the head. We're here for 3 more breaths. Okay, let's release feet back down onto the mat, knees up towards the sky. Arms are by your side. We're just going to create some roll ups here through the spine. So pushing into the feet, inhale, slowly start to roll up through the spine until you lift into that upper back. Find the stretch. One breath. And then roll down opposite direction with your exhale. And you can move at your own pace here. I want you to do a total of 5. So as soon as you land onto the mat, you start to curl back up. You inhale up and you exhale down. Good. I have 3 more. I'm on my last one. Take your time. You still need to finish. When you're ready, you can join us into shoulder stand. So we're lifting the toes up towards the sky, hands onto the low back. Good. And find your depth here. Keep reaching the toes up towards the sky, and then bring your heels slightly towards the front of your mat. Getting upside down gives us a shift in perspective. Good. And then gently lower your toes behind you for halasana. We're going to try and hold for 5 more breaths. If you need to, you can slowly roll out into Shavasana, or you can hang out here with me for 4 more. And then very gently rolling down, coming to lay flat onto your back. You can either extend your legs or bring the soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Now let's take one hand onto your belly, one hand onto your heart center, and this is where we're gonna soften and relax. So do a body scan, letting go of each body part with an exhale. If you need a few more deep breaths, you can take the breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then we become the softest physical body we can become. And following that, we soften the breath. And then naturally in this environment, the mind will start to soften for us as well. Then laying here in your steadiness, start to bring some full deep breaths back into the body. Notice how you feel. When you're ready for movement, you can slowly move through the paces, bringing your knees in, rolling onto the right side, and eventually finding your comfortable seat. Just take your time through each posture. Good. Tall spine, soft through the chest, soft through the shoulders, soft through the jaw. Good. And we're just going to move today into our balanced breath. Right? So Samavriti. So equal inhales, equal exhales, soft breath. Okay. We're not doing anything too intense or vigorous today. We're balancing the breath in length and pressure. Okay. So for the first one, I'm just going to give you a count of 6 in and a 6 out. Then you're going to move into your own pace. So if you need a little bit shorter, you need longer, you move into your own pace. Okay. So let's take a cleansing breath here. Let it out. Good. And then let's begin. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. And exhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. And just continue on your own. Find your pace, find your rhythm. Okay, let's do 2 more rounds, and then you can soften the breath. And when you soften the breath, when you're done, you pay close attention to the state you've been able to shift into through this breath work, through your practice. And with your hands resting onto your knees or your ankles, wherever they're touching, all I want you to focus on for the next 2 minutes is the sensation between your hands and whatever body part they're touching. Okay. This is a very good technique to drop you into the present moment and help to slow down the thoughts in the mind. It's very simple, but quite powerful. So you shift into your meditation, you soften the breath, and all I want you to think about is your hands and where they are touching and the sensation between the two. And if your mind starts to wander, you pull it back into the hands for the last 30 seconds or so here. Keep focused, keep steady with your breath. And with your eyes closed, bring a deep breath back into the body. Notice how well you're able to stay focused on your hands. And this is all our meditation is, right? Especially when we're starting, this is what we focus on. Let's draw hands in front of heart center. One last breath here, drawing your intention back in. Namaste. Very good. Nice work, ladies. Good. All right. It's good. It'll be a good start to our week. Same classes as next week, same schedule, regular schedule. Hope you guys are well and enjoy the rest of your hopefully sunny Sunday.
Thanks, honey. That was awesome.
Thanks, Con. Thanks, Melanina.
Yeah.
Thanks, Robin.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks, Debbie.
Thank you.
Are you guys going skiing today, Steph?
No, we're taking the day off. Steve is taking the kids to his parents for a visit, and I'm just going to do